Heyo, welcome to the Boston Sports Brothers podcast, another episode on the horizon of Halloween. And if you're on the YouTube and watching this episode, you can see, ironically, episode 13 as well for us, gentlemen. So all the Halloween vibes going. We're sporting our greatest Grateful Dead gear this evening on the pod. We figured we'd dress up as the band or Deadheads, however you want to put it. Also a fitting time to do this with the unfortunate passing of the greatest bass player of all time, in my humble opinion, Phil Lesh. So let's just start here, boys, with the Dead. We've talked about it a little bit in terms of our fandom and whatnot, but favorite Dead song and any Dead memories that you have over the past couple of years, if we've gotten to go
Whew.
to some shows. And yeah, it's a tough question because there's a lot on the table. But quick Dead thoughts, 30, 60 seconds. Everyone kick it around and
Yeah,
let's talk
I'll,
Dead.
I can start. Phil Lesh, rest in peace, man. OG member of the Grateful Dead. Very sad to hear of his passing. I would say one of my favorite songs and one of the songs I'm continuing to chase to this day is Deep Ellum Blues. Um, and I guess favorite. I can't pick a favorite concert. They've all just been so spectacular, and it's most of them have been shared with you guys, which is kind of the best part because it's all love, and it's just amazing to be with your boys and listening to amazing music at the same time.
Love it.
Yeah, I
Love
kind of
it.
have to agree. I'm gonna jump on. It's really hard to pick a favorite Dead song, but in honor of Phil Lesh, you got to give it out to Box of Rain. Um,
Mm.
One moment that rarely happens is John Mayer fucked up, and they had to like reset and restart, and like that rarely ever happens. And John hates messing up, but the crowd loved it because that was a big Dead thing. Was not like fucking up, but just I don't know, just it's live music, so it's just you know what I mean. It's you just like go with the flow, and that was I think that was J Matt's first concert. So that was for me that was really cool. It was the first time to hear Box of Rain, and
Yeah.
thank you Phil for the
Take two.
memories. Thank you Phil for the memories. I mean, we're sad that you're gone in physical form, but we know you and Jerry are shredding up there.
Music
Yeah,
lives on.
you said it great, Sam. Rest in peace, Phil. You were one of a kind, and you were just made great music. And Sammy, I gotta thank you for getting me onto the band. Like what, probably 7 years ago, about now. You got me hooked, and once you're on the train, you can't come off. So it's great. It's and welcome aboard. Any people who are not deadheads want to become deadheads, where you're more than welcome to hop on. But yeah, rest in peace, Phil. You were one of a kind for sure.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, I'll go here next. Big E here. Basically, I'm not gonna echo the same sentiments that everyone else did. Just gonna keep it moving. Favorite song that I would like to throw in, and this is also a tribute to Phil, is a song that he helped co-wrote, which is "Truckin." Amazing song, and I think what I'd probably say one of my favorite memories of the Dead was, I mean, there's so many, but being able to go to the last show of the last tour ever and seeing the drone show and just being there with everyone. Plotty, you were missed for sure. But just, going to shows in that tour in general, the Fenway tour or Fenway show was awesome as well. So
Gillette.
Yeah.
Gillette,
Yeah,
yeah, with the
it just ma
rain, that
it
was
just
the
makes
second
you.
huge second set.
It really makes you appreciate all the shows that we've been to, especially together, like you said, Gabe, and all the times we've had at in the parking lot in Gillette, tailgating before, whether it's Gillette or Mansfield or San Francisco. Like, it's just the times are incredible, incredible people. And it's sad to see, some of these older band members aging out a little bit. So you just have to be really thankful for all the times and grateful for
But
all the times that we've had together.
but remember, the music will live on, and that is like
Of
their
course.
greatest legacy.
The music
Undoubtedly.
never stops.
The music
Will
never
never fade
stops.
away.
All the references. Two parting words on the dead. I was very fortunate to see Phil Lesh and friends at the Newport Folk Festival I think 2019. He closed out day one of the festival and was able to watch on the boat, and that memory is cemented as just an incredible opportunity to see him in that regard. And then another show, certainly the ones that we've all been to, the five of us together, but myself, Gabe's first show in Camden, New Jersey, and with Krasner making a trip and down to Philly from here, and what was a shit show of a second set when the skies and heavens opened up, and just a crazy experience. If you were at that Dead show in Camden, New Jersey, you went through an out of body experience walking through floods to get to an Uber across the river. It was quite a time. So dead shows will bring you all kinds of experiences, ones that you plan for and ones that you certainly don't. We love the dead, and the music will go on forever and ever. And what we thought was going to go on forever and ever was a Patriots losing streak, but let's dive into around town sports. That was our opening takes there with the dead. So appreciate the opportunity to get to talk on those things. But back to the Pats. Very surprising win against the Jets yesterday. Let's talk about it. J-Mac, kick it off.
So hey guys, a win's a win, right? I mean, wasn't, the most exciting, flashy win, but they got a win. And I'm gonna stay level-headed here. I'm not overly hyped. It was against a crappy Jets team that's been going downhill, that has on has fired their coach. So
You mean Aaron
it's
Rodgers fired the coach?
exactly. So whether it's Aaron Rodgers or whoever knows, but I'm not overly hyped, but there were some things that you can build off. They fought through adversity, whether from coming off the Mayo comments and all the BS that came with that. And they think they took it as a challenge, and they showed it on the field, which you love to see. And they even said that some of the players that after the fact, they said that they took it as a challenge. I think Keon White even said that. So you like to see that. The O-line played well. They're building something there, which is great. And the offense just looks like a better unit. It's still a little one-dimensional when you see Jacoby out there. It's really a lot of like first down runs, which is like you got to get rid of that, do something different, but something to build off. But again, not overly hyped.
I think my big takeaway is Drake May, and I think he has looked pretty good, overall through 2 games and a quarter. Maybe it was a little bit longer than a quarter before he got taken out of the game. Which brings me to like the point of like he's looking fluid in the pocket. He's going through the progression, looking for his receivers. He's shifty on his legs, but I also think too, we got to be careful with that. It's part of the reason why he was in the situation he was in yesterday, on why he got concussed. And yeah, we could talk about it being, you know, a dirty hit. I don't know if it really was dirty.
Yeah.
I don't think it was dirty. I think it's just kind of the game moves fast, and it kind of happened as he was starting to slide. The defensive player was already going to get him, but that's something that is an element to the game that we got to be careful with. His touchdown run was fantastic, though. But like you said, Josh, great opportunity next week if he's ready and healthy to come in and play a 1-7 Tennessee, 1-6, because they had their bye week, 1-6 Tennessee Titans that may be worse than we are. And you want to also is funny, and this is last thought for me here on the Patriots. Jets went into this year with Super Bowl aspirations, and after 8 weeks, the Patriots also went in with very little expectations. After 8 weeks, we have the same exact record of 2-6. So, Jets, you suck. Patriots, we expected this, so it kind of is what it is. But feels good to be back on the winning side of things.
Indeed.
Yeah, I guess my take would be that the coaching continues to be a question for me at least. Um, I just feel like their offensive play calls are very like cookie cutter, first down run, second down run, third down pass. It's like almost every offensive possession, and it's so predictable, and it's kind of just like Josh said, it's makes the game kind of drag along a bit. But still happy that we got the W. I just also remember at the end of the first half, I think the Patriots had
Oh,
two full minutes to
Yeah. Oh,
potentially make a drive
that was
down the field.
soft.
And it's just like you just Mayo just decides to run out the clock and go into the into the fucking locker room. And I guess it's analytically like, yeah, it's a safe move to go into the locker room and not potentially give up any more points. But let's have some fun here. We're playing football, like, we're playing pretty well against the Jets. Like, I just thought that was a soft move in my opinion by the coaching staff.
So I
Agreed.
think we need to
Agreed.
take it back. I think we need to take it back like last episode when I was talking about what this team really needs, and that's finding an identity. And again, this isn't going to happen over one game. This is going to happen over the course of a season, and not even just the games, but like, everything that's happening off the field, whether it's team dinners or just hanging out, going on the golf course, doing whatever they do. That's really what kind of needs to happen with this team moving forward. And everyone's, not negative points, but everyone's criticisms, there's reasons behind that. The coaching staff, again, they got to find that identity, and when they do, I think things will kind of fall into place. Myself personally, the game, like I said, I'm not looking for them to win these games at all. I just want to see consistency either across the board, and if there's not consistency across the board, we're starting to gain a little bit of momentum.
We don't need the number one overall pick, and I think that's
No,
been
no, no,
the
no,
big
no, no. We
consensus.
don't.
I don't think there's a real big difference for us
Will Campbell.
if we are 5, 6, 7. We know what we need to improve, and
Hmm.
wherever the draft position is, the draft position is going to be. We have our quarterback in the future. Now it's all about let's build around it.
Yeah, get some wins and
There is a
uh
certain range we want to be around, though.
no,
I
but you
do
want
have
to
to say.
I
We're
mean,
not going to be in the 20s. We're not going to be
no,
in the
no,
playoffs.
no.
I can tell you that.
If you can get
Well,
four or
no, I
five,
know.
if you can get 4 or 5 wins, I mean that's great. They have two right now. I mean, what we're at week 9 coming up. I think. Yeah, we're about halfway through the season now. So if
Got
you
a
can get
great
four,
chance next week.
yeah, they'll be top 10, a top 10 pick, which is where you want them to be, and you want them to start building something, which is kind of what they might be doing. Like I said, with the offensive line, um, a little bit an area of concern with the offensive line. I still think is the run game where Ramondre Stevenson only had 48 rush yards on 22 attempts, which is not great. I think last week and the week before was even worse. So definitely an area of concern for me. And also one area of concern for me, which I think we can all agree on, is the wide receivers dropping balls left and right. It's like
Terrible.
just you can't have that. Like these third down drops and these big plays, the Tyquan Thornton, like 30-yard play, like on the where it's a beautiful ball. Like I was on Twitter X whatever, and a lot of people are saying like not many quarterbacks can make that throw. And Drake May was doing it. You just got to
So
be able to
Josh, how do
catch
you
it.
think the like the run game can get established? Like do you think it's like, okay, we just thought Ramondre, just focus on Ramondre and let it go from
I
there?
think like Gabe said, you can't be
You
one
hybrid it?
dimensional. You can't be one dimensional with these first down runs and whatnot. Like throw a screen in there on first down or something. Like because these guys like they block up all the gaps. Like there's no rush lanes, and if they're gonna do that, maybe hit them with a little bit of a trickery, something. I don't know. Get them off
I,
balance.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you got to give credit to the Jets defense. Their front seven
Well,
is
they're
pretty good.
good.
They're pretty good. So
What
like
is it,
I
Quincy
Pretty good.
Williams?
They're
Quincy
really good.
Williams and like
Hassan Red
that's Hassan Reddick. Yeah.
Hassan
Sean
Reddick
Reddick?
played
I
his
mean, they're
first
no
game
joke.
against us, so
No,
that
I
team
mean
is no joke
the
with
front sevens we've
Sauce.
seen the last 3 weeks have been great. Like no, you can't.
Gravy Gardner?
You
There's
can't, yeah,
no, but
you
they have to still be able to run the ball. They have to.
you have
Yeah,
to be able
Plotty,
to
what are your
run the
thoughts?
ball. My thoughts are I think you guys covered it in terms of the entire game. My thoughts are I said this the other night to J Matt and Gabe, but E and Kraz haven't heard this. Jacoby Brissett is like loading a cannon when he throws the ball, and you have to literally load the cannon with the cannonball for him to be able to throw it. And it takes like it's like a reload every fucking time he
You need
throws.
like three
It
people to fucking load
Yeah, it
him,
just like
right?
takes
Like
so long for him to get rid of the ball. However, you got to give him credit for leading them on a drive at the end of the game to get into the end zone. The throw he made to Booty down the middle of the field, beating Sauce Gardner, was great. They were able to punch it in there and take the lead and coming away with a win. I think it goes back to what Kraz said. Like the wins are important to build confidence and momentum for this team for the future. And they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to do that or anything of the sort. But with a losing team, I feel like you go back in the season, you say to yourself, if this had happened, if that had happened, well, if Jalen Pope gets a foot down and a field goal isn't blocked in Seattle, like this is a different kind of season.
Mhm.
So this team, it's hard to get a gauge because it's been such a roller coaster ride, but a win is a win. And I think you have a great opportunity to go into next week versus a beatable team. Drake May's been encouraging. He's able to extend plays, make plays. I don't know, if he's going to clear the protocol here in a week or not, but
Oh, he will.
uh,
It'd be tough.
he,
There is no protocol.
they might, who knows? But a winnable game this upcoming week and build that momentum and try and beat the 4 or 5 win expectation of this year somehow and land a pick and then do what you got to do in the draft. But just give us competitive games to watch like they did. It wasn't sexy by any means, but I just want to be able to sit down on a Sunday and feel like there's a chance that they have the opportunity to be in the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean that one went down to the wire, so hopefully similar outcomes against the Titans, just a close competitive game and whichever way the ball
I'll
goes,
take a fucking beat down too. Like I would love to see this team somehow go off for more than 30 points and
I
win by a
mean,
touchdown or
they
two.
just
They
scored
can.
25. That's season high right there, 25. But Plotty,
Yep.
like you said, I mean, a couple other plays go here and there in a couple other games, and this team could have some wins. So this was a really they could have what, maybe at least one more, three, maybe four. But that's what this team has to think, and the players have to start thinking that. And this win that they had on Sunday was really big for building that and the just the chance that they can think that they have something. Because if you just keep losing, it's these people the players just check out, and that's the last thing you want as a fan.
You
One
got
other
one more
thing,
point?
one other thing. The light bulb just went off. The trade deadline, I believe, is coming up shortly.
Sure is.
Um,
Goodbye, Uche.
There was a
yeah,
move
Uche,
today.
Uche,
Uche
Uche, Uche.
going to the enemy
Boucher,
in Kansas
Bye
City.
bye.
Who
Uh,
suck?
do you guys,
despicable.
yeah. Do you guys think the Patriots are done making moves, or do you think they're gonna get rid of some more people?
Apparently they're
No.
open. They're open. They said that I was listening to the radio, and they said that they are open for business.
I
Apparently,
could see with Ayuk going down,
I feel
Kendrick
like,
Bourne, Kendrick Bourne maybe going out
yeah.
to the 49ers because he was previously there.
Get him out of here. That guy couldn't catch a goddamn beach ball yesterday.
I
He
feel
was
like
so bad.
I tend to like him, and he's coming off the ACL, so like I'm giving him a little bit more of a pass than the other guys. Like Tyquan Thornton, he sucks. I'm
So
Yeah,
sorry.
who
so
are our
bad.
untouchables?
there
We're not
aren't
trading.
any.
Drake
I
May,
mean, like,
Drake
yeah,
May,
Owenu,
Uh, yeah.
Ramondre.
Christian Gonzalez.
but let's be real. They're not going to
yeah,
trade
Mike.
yeah, they're not going to trade any of these. Like, it's going to be like
I'm
you
just
said,
Veteran
asking. I'm just
players,
like
I
asking the
it's going to
think,
be
that
question.
are
like
on the
it's going
market.
to be like a
There's not
Kendrick
many.
Bourne or like like
KJ
Well, I
Osborne.
mean, can we talk about the return
yeah,
for Uche?
Osborne's a good
They
call.
got a 6th rounder in 2026. Like it's pretty much like a bag of balls.
Yeah.
No, they're looking to clear
That
salary.
could be
They're
Tom
looking to
Brady,
get
dude.
younger and listen, they got to focus on the team that's here and see if they can pile up any more of these wins and just get the narrative around the team to change as well. It's been such dark days for almost 2 months with them, and so back-to-back weeks where they might be able to pull off wins here would be a good feeling. And then I think the schedule turns a little bit versus some more competition. Any final Patriots thoughts? Otherwise, we're going to talk about a team that has only wins so far on the season and going for another win this evening as we record here on Monday, October 28th. The Celtics tipping off against the Milwaukee Bucks, but they have secured wins in their first 3 games of the season. We briefly talked about the banner ceremony and kicking off game number 1 last week when we had on Elio. But let's talk Celtics and just what the first week has looked like. Big E.
Yeah, would love to go into the first game of the season, the kickoff where we were raising the banner, getting the rings, all that great stuff. No thank you to TNT for cutting away from the banner ceremony. I will say the Celtics put out a really awesome footage of a drone going in and flying in as the
That was
banner was
sick.
being raised. Super sick, super cool. But really kind of summing up that first game, it was just an absolute beatdown on the New York Knicks. New York Knicks are probably the biggest challenge to the Celtics in the Eastern Conference as it stands today. That's no disrespect to any other team like Milwaukee or Philadelphia or anyone else anyone thinks is a contender. They went out and they tried to model themselves after the Celtics, and they got absolutely walloped. Just a couple of stats here, and this is from the starters. Jason Tatum only played 30 minutes, had 37 points with 10 assists and 4 boards. He shot lights out over 75% on the game, over 70% on three. Money. Jaylen Brown picked up where he left off last year, 23 points. and he also hit 5 out of 9 3-point attempts. Just the Celtics in general just made all kinds of threes. The entire starting lineup was in double figures. Um, the only thing that I would say is, we were really close to setting that record and being the only team to set the record of the number of threes made in a game. And they got a little bit too three happy in the fourth quarter with some of the backups. And, I appreciate Joe at the end saying, take the turnover,
Yeah.
do not try and shoot the three here. It's also a disrespect move to New York. And, you don't want to give a team any more motivation than necessary. So, big thoughts here on the opening game were just the New York team, the Knicks did not look like they were ready. And, it's their first game. They tended to take it out on Indiana in the next game I saw. So we'll see what they look like for the next matchup. But utter dominance from the Celtics in game one. Anyone want to take game two here?
Well,
Yeah.
I just kind of want to touch on game one really quick though. And it really comes down to locking up their one and their two. I mean, I guess you could argue Cat is their number two, but really it's, you're looking at Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson. And when you have when you have three lockdown defenders and Jalen Brown and Derek White, and then also Drew Holiday, and you kind of mess up their momentum. Yeah, I think Jalen Brunson went off for 22 points or whatever, but it's you kind of mess with their flow, and when you mess with their flow, then the team kind of gets out of disarray, and that's when you kind of start losing the game. And the Celtics kind of go on these runs, these turnovers, and we're winning on the boards or winning on everything, and that's what it kind of looks like. So that was my outlook on game one. I mean, game two.
Kraz, oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, great
No, no,
point
no.
there
Go
on
ahead.
great point there on the defense. Only thing I would love to really throw out there is I think there's this narrative that Jason Tatum is not a good defender. He was on
Oh,
Bridges almost the entire night, and Bridges was over until he was out of the game. So
yeah.
Tatum also is someone who can be very good on defense. Besides the three guys you named, who are first and second team all defensive regulars, right? So just want to give Tatum his flowers for the other side of the ball.
Oh
So I think
yeah.
we all tend to talk about his offensive prowess, not his defensive.
No, I agree with you, Eric, 100%. I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate here. I mean, I watched the game against Detroit, um, and they had two great games. Of course, they're gonna come out, hot as could be on opening night, getting their rings, and that's gonna happen. Washington still is not a great team. We all know that they're gonna finish with like 15 wins. Detroit, I think, has improved. I think they've got some shooters. There's something about that team that gives us fits. I don't know what it is. I like have no idea. We
They're a
went to a
physical team.
game. We went to a game a few years ago where at the Garden where they lost, where they were like huge favorites, and but they had a really crappy third quarter against the Pistons, and then they were down pretty late, like I think under 4 minutes they were down. They had to really claw back to win that game. So I don't know if they just kind of like took their foot off the gas, kind of played down to the competition a little bit. But it was good to see
I
them
think
get
so.
that win. That's what championship teams do. But I don't think it should come to that against a team like Detroit.
Yeah, and a few years
I
ago, you would probably see the Celtics team giving up that lead and potentially losing that game. So it's nice to,
100%.
yeah, so it's nice to see that they kind of got over that yip, if you will, and are just playing complete, absolute dominant basketball. For me, I guess my biggest take would be is it's they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's a fun team to watch. Like we don't have a ton of teams that are really fun to watch right now. The Celtics are one of those, and it's mainly, I would say, because you feel like they could break that single game 3-point record almost any time they touch the floor. I I think I've heard rumblings that there's like the league is trying potentially looking into changing like 3-point rules
Oh, please.
because of how good
Nick
the
Wright can
Celtics
suck
are.
one.
Yeah, I don't really know. I heard like rumblings of that. I don't know the origins, but if anyone would like to enlighten us on that, but
Yeah, Nick
yeah,
Nick Wright,
That's dumb.
who's a I don't even know what platform he's on, but he has always had a gripe against the Celtics for whatever reason, and has all Boston to be quite honest. And uh, he's like talking about changing the rules in favor of the 3-point nonsense. I don't even know what the fuck his entire point was. But to be honest, like the Celtics have ascended to a level, and their coach in Missoula, who's gotten them to that level and gotten the most out of them, has been what makes this team exciting. Every night they're going to go out there with an opportunity not just to win the game, but to like completely dominate. Um, Great start to the season for the entire starting lineup. Tatum looks to kind of be playing. I remember in starting five, and his dad uh, talked about like, is there another level to Jason Tatum? And he's like, yeah, it's asshole Jason Tatum that we haven't seen yet. And I think asshole Jason Tatum, in many things, is Steve Kerr and Team USA has arrived for this season. Um, and you can kind of just see it in his play. Like he's the general out there. Brown's been spectacular as well, and this team has an opportunity to go back to back, as we've talked about several times. Um, we'll talk about Missoula and yeah, oh yeah, with his antics on banner night. But to close out the Celtics, if and we can certainly have any final thoughts. It's just have these games come into. I think the bench has been a great story as well. The entire second unit. My Pritchard Sixth Man of the Year award is
Yeah, he's
looking
getting good
solid
play.
for the time being.
Just one bad game, that's it.
Yeah, so the bench is solid. Hauser's haven't had some injury issues here to get going in the early going, but there's an opportunity where the depth of this team will be on display given the scoring of some of these games. So I'm excited to see who of those players will be able to help us contribute. I think we know Pritchard, but beyond that, is it Tillman? Is it Cornette? Is it that entire second unit? But the fact that they can rely on them is quite the luxury, and a credit to Stevens for constructing the roster in the way that he has.
And
Yeah, no,
my final take on
go
this. Oh, go
ahead.
ahead, Gabe. No, you go ahead.
No, you
My
go.
final my no, you go.
So
No,
courteous.
you go,
So
Gabe.
courteous.
No, my final take is just I think Jason Tatum could make a real serious bid for the MVP this year. He's already putting up ridiculous numbers after 3 games, and if he continues at this rate, I mean, he's going to be right up there in top three voting, I would imagine.
No doubt. Kraz, final thought?
Yeah. I think it's really honestly kind of crazy that we have a coach that loves adversity, that loves being down 20 points, or I mean loves being up 20 points and then giving it up and like trying to fight back through. Like I don't think we've ever had a coach like that. Like I mean Belichick obviously like did his own things, but I don't think he like thrived on that or like looked forward to those kinds of things. So like to have a coach actually like that and like I know for us that's one of our like huge anxieties. Like, oh my God, here we fucking go again. You just gave up fucking 20. Like, why? Like you just gave up a 20-point lead. But now it's like, okay, we've seen this
He,
before. Here comes our run. Boom, game over.
he has
So
like
it's
the
just
ultimate
refreshing.
ability to like take situations and find ways to turn
Hmm.
them into some sort of learning experience, like in a way that you have not seen out of very many coaches. Or maybe there is. I have to assume, like you just said, Belichick, Popovich
Mhm.
is another one that comes to mind, but they do it in their own way. Missoula
Yeah.
is just like it's inherently who he is, inward and outward, day in and day out. So yeah, they're playing Milwaukee tonight, a couple other games throughout the course of the week. And we look forward to all that's to come here for the Celtics. Some other teams that got another team rather that has some games on the schedule this week are the Boston Bruins, who a shaky week, shall we say, Gabe, for the Bruins.
Yeah, shaky indeed.
Hmm.
The Bruins are definitely kind of a middling team right now, which is kind of what we are expecting, just with all the new additions and everything like that. They definitely had a disappointing loss in Nashville. They
That was
lost
ugly.
The
4-0.
winless Nashville, I think they
Win
were.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, they were winless at the
at the
time, so that
time. Yeah,
so that was Nashville's first win. That was a bit disappointing there, and then they come home to play Dallas, the Dallas Stars. Lose that one.
wagon.
We were watching that together, Josh and Josh.
Some
Um,
BSB brothers were trying to go
Yeah,
to that game and pretty
well,
happy you guys could go.
yeah. They're Dallas is a wagon.
Dallas is a wagon. They definitely looked primed for a cup run already. Like they yeah, if I had to put money on a team to win the Western Conference Finals, they might be one of them. And then, an exciting game the other night against Toronto. They get a nice overtime victory, 4-3, at home, which was nice. Get the winning juices flowing again. And just a side note on that game, Marchand scores the overtime goal. That is 60 overtime goals in
Wow.
Marchand's career. That puts him in at third place all time in the NHL behind
Well,
Ovechkin and Crosby, which
Yeah, that's
Damn.
is
incredible. He's
My
crazy.
favorite one was when I don't
retire that number.
Gabe, you'll have to you'll have to tell me which game it was, but all I remember is there a guy and he just like threw his shirt up and like everyone's surrounding him and he's just it was in 2011, I know that.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It might have been
I
a
will
game 7 for one of the series. It was great.
I will say, Gabe, the win on against the Maple Leafs, it was like a classic Bruins win where they're up and then they give up a goal late in the third period to Toronto as they're like, pressuring them, and then they go in overtime and somehow pull it out after like not having possession for like the first 2 minutes of overtime, which is crazy. But it was just kind of like you think they're gonna blow it, but they somehow pull it out. I think that's what this team kind of is, unfortunately. So, um, I don't know. I hope it's still early. They still, like you said, Gabe, they still have pieces that still have to gel. So I still have hope that they're gonna be pretty good, a playoff team, just get into the playoffs, and hopefully Swayman can stand on his head and pull a Thomas, pull a
that's
Timmy.
Yeah, I don't. I think Swayman's been okay. I don't think he's been he certainly like hasn't been the $66 million goalie, and that's not to say he doesn't deserve the money. But the fact of the matter is that he hasn't played lights out hockey as a goaltender. And you're going to need that from him if you're going to want to move into that upper echelon of teams. There and it's very clear that he's also taking a shitload of the workload. Like he looks like he's primed to play like 55, 60 games this year, which he
He
Yeah.
hasn't
should.
done.
He
He
should
should.
based on the money.
Well, undoubtedly should, but that I think that was the Bruins' biggest concern is that he hasn't done that. And what does this look like over the course of a season? So they're going to need some improved defense and goaltending and stop taking stupid fucking penalties. I mean,
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
I love Pasta. He's fantastic, but sometimes his puck management is just like, dude, what are you doing? You are putting a puck in harm's way so many times where it's like it almost like it's one of those things where it's like the good you take the good with the bad, but he's so bad with the puck on his stick sometimes. It's almost like
Well,
how.
they're
Yeah.
the stupid penalties too. It's like the too many men on the ice. It's like, like those are the things that are avoidable. And like it's always during the long change. Why can we never get that right? And it doesn't matter. It's not necessarily this year's team too. It's kind of
Last
been
year.
that way. It's been that way for a while. I wouldn't even say it was last year's too. You could even go back to when Cassidy was the coach here. This team just cannot handle the long change. I understand it's only one period, but still, it's annoying as hell.
Yeah. They can't figure it out.
Yeah, and that really bit them in the ass in the playoffs last year against the Panthers too. I mean, how many freaking too many men on the ice penalties did they get last year in the playoffs? It's
It
probably
was like one a game.
yeah, it was multiple, definitely.
The Panthers
Um,
are kryptonite.
yeah, they're still our kryptonite. But I guess parting thoughts on the Bruins. Um, Offensively, I mean, we were just talking about Pasta, but he's really like, if he's going, like the offense is going a bit better. It's tough, There's not much depth behind him for scoring. I think Elio said last week he wouldn't mind like trading to get some more offensive pieces on this team. It's still a little early. We'll see how Elias Lindholm and those guys kind of step up, but I think we just are still kind of in that waiting phase
So
right now. Just one parting thought also, sorry, Josh, to cut you off.
you're good.
Um, the division right now is crazy. I was looking at it earlier. Let's see. There are one, two, three, five teams currently with 9 points, tied with 9 points. Tampa Bay has 10 and Florida has 13. So like this division is
Yeah.
crazy.
I
It's
think
gonna
it's
be a
still
wild
it's
season.
I think it's still early. Everything's got to settle out a little bit. It's like, the first like week or two of football, it's like everything's kind of like a little bit of a crapshoot, and then it'll start, teams will start, you'll start seeing who the real elite teams are. But to back to a little bit about the Bruins here, do you think Monty's still walking on eggshells, or do we think that he is at least got a few more months in him or end of the season, or what do we think here with that 4-3 overtime victory? Because
I
if they
think
lose
he's
that game, I think it could be a lot of rumbling here.
hot seat, and it's just it's every sport on a week by week sort of basis in terms of how a team is doing and what the overall feel is. And winning cures everything. If they can go win, if they can, go pick up some points this week and look more representative, then all of that stuff will stop. I think that you got to get through 15, 20 games here and see how this team is performing before you can start to make any decisions. I think that you gotta give Monty and the entire coaching staff the opportunity to sort of look at tape, take a look at what's happening game in and game out, and make the adjustments. The biggest part that was different from the two earlier games in the week and the one in Toronto is the effort was there, and they came out and played Boston Bruins kind of hockey, a physical brand, pucks on net. Like it was much better from that standpoint. So if the effort's there, they have the opportunity to win games, but they might have been getting too hammered out on Broadway on Nashville the night before that game, and
I
uh,
I
Dallas
think
is just a better
Monty.
team.
I think Monty's safe at least until January or February, unless like they're sliding real bad. So I think early in the season, like, yeah, the seed is hot, but they're not going to fire him for a little while unless this team doesn't perform. And I think we all expect that this is not the best version of this Bruins team. They're going to pick it on up. So I feel confident that Monty will turn it around. So I'm not expecting that he will get fired, but just like you said, it's a what have you done for me lately kind of league, and not just hockey, but for all the sports.
No doubt.
A coach that we know who's not going to get fired next year is Alex Cora from the Boston Red Sox after signing an
Great segue.
extension.
Yeah, and who's
Sammy,
a team that's on a slide as the New York Yankees, who we hope that continues as
Hey,
well.
let's
So,
let's
Kraz,
let's
let's
the
let's
season
talk.
needs to end for that to happen before I start talking about
Oh, me
anything.
too.
He
I
ain't
Me
need two
too.
more
celebrating yet.
Dodger wins.
I
You'll be
can't say
dancing
Two
like
more
a
anything.
little
Dodger
The
wins.
skeleton
Dodgers
killer.
is.
we got no
But
Sox news, zero, split, nothing.
well,
All right,
They hired their
just saying.
baseball scientist.
did anybody watch the comeback on Netflix? It documented
Oh no, I heard it's really good
I've
though.
the
started it.
04.
I've heard it's good.
Pedro is an absolute
Yeah,
savage. He
great,
was
great
like,
documentary.
I remember. You're gonna
Let's
hit
give
my guy. I'm gonna
everyone
hit you.
let's give everyone an opportunity to get through the doc and do a full documentary review next week on the
Ugh,
pod, so we can all give our thoughts on that. But highly,
20th
highly
anniversary.
recommend homework
yeah,
assignment
it
for
is.
those
It
who
is.
haven't watched.
20th anniversary of that 04 team
Just
winning. So just wanted to throw it out there. That happened yesterday on
or
the
just
Yes.
27th.
Pedro saying, I sent both of those guys in one ambulance to the hospital.
It's
It's just
just
like
he's fucking crazy,
savage,
absolutely
Character,
dude.
crazy. But all
absolute
right, so
character.
well that gives our listening audience,
We could
viewing
talk about the
audience,
World Series.
an opportunity to watch the doc as well. But yes, Kraz, please take it away with the
Yeah.
World Series.
Yeah.
While the Yankees have lost two very entertaining games,
Great games.
So Shohei is okay from what I've
Shohei,
seen.
okay. I like
in the
that.
Okay,
lineup
Shohei
tonight,
is
Shohei.
okay.
He's more
They're
than
playing
okay.
again
He's pretty
tonight.
great.
He is pretty good. They're playing again tonight. We'll see. My biggest takeaways were the Yankees had their ace on the mound in Garrett Cole, and he went through, I think it was like 6 or 7, yeah, 6 innings, and he was just solid. He gave up like 2 runs, and the Yankees were in complete control the whole entire time. And then they just went through like 5 other pitchers. I think they used 6 pitchers, including Cole, the first game. They brought up Nestor Cortez, who's supposed to
Yeah,
be their
what
starter.
are you doing with Nestor Cortez? Makes no sense, Sammy.
I have no idea. First pitch, he's Freddie Freeman swinging, game over, friggin' walk off grand slam at first
unreal
time
moment.
ever, and yeah, unreal
Unreal.
moment. We'll get to that in the oh yes, but like
Crazy.
I don't know what Aaron Boone is doing as far as his bullpen work is going, and the same thing with game two. It was Carlos Rodon was on the mound for like 4 innings, and then they're using 4 more pitchers, and it's like you guys have used 11 pitchers in between 2 games. Like that's pretty insane.
Well,
That
kind
I'll
of
wait. I'll wait till y'all over this.
I felt that anxiety in game two when I was watching till the end there.
The ninth
And
inning.
and the Yankees had the
Butt
bases
clencher.
loaded, and yeah, they were coming back, and I was getting a little worried there because it's been that type of series. So
Yeah.
but the Dodgers were able to get it done, and ooh,
Yeah,
that
that
one
Part
scared
of
me.
part of me almost feels like that after that knockout blow in game one, I feel like that might be tough for the Yankees to come back from. They were in control that whole game. Cole looked great. Um, they were gonna win that game. I think they were like an out away or something like that, a couple pitches even.
the
Um,
The
Yeah, so
Yankees
it was
needed to win one in LA because I think
yeah,
it's going to be very
the
difficult for them
momentum just killed them, I think.
to go win,
Yeah,
you
they
know,
did need to take one in
three
LA for sure.
three games. This was shout out Erky who was on the social feeds and was with us for the New York Minute, but um we were talking about like the games and the way the series is 2-3-2 and the three games for the Yankees now being at home, like they have to go 3-0 and only have and be able to go
Oh
back
yeah.
to LA. Going back to LA down still 3-2 will be a tall task to overcome. But it's
Winning
been a
four
great
out of five
series.
games. Winning
No,
four out of
right.
five games is a huge
That's
undertaking.
what I was
Yeah,
saying.
but
That might be the knockout blow game one, the way it ended. It was like
let's
grand slam. I think it could be
don't discount
that's my
Yankee.
take.
Don't discount New Yorkers and what Yankee Stadium is
I don't
about to
know.
be for the next three
Sam was
games.
saying they don't have the pitching and they've already gone through their first two starters, so we'll see.
That place is going to be a zoo.
It's going to be the fucking concrete jungle for sure. It's going to be nuts. So
Oh, and I
it's
I have a for why it's a zoo.
It's gonna be
well,
pretty quiet after the Dodgers get up big
well,
tonight
we're
or
we're
tomorrow
at
night.
we're at that
Well,
point of the
Tonight,
show.
knock
right?
on some fucking
Tonight,
wood,
yeah.
please. Please knock on some wood because I need that superstition. You know me.
We're
Hey,
Put
just
on the
don't
right
watch,
sock, then the
Sammy.
left sock.
We all know that you shouldn't watch. Just that's the superstition.
What happened, Josh?
we're
Yeah,
at
if you don't watch the Yankees lose.
Turning it off. Turning it off. All right, game's over. Yes.
The Yankees lose.
the Yankees lose, and it's time
All right.
for oh my God, I just like went away for a second
You
here.
blackout.
Yeah,
No,
maybe
he meshed in with the screen. It was kind of
I'm
cool.
one with the
Chameleon
screen.
like.
I'm on a Phil Lesh acid trip in real time. Anyways, Big E.
The other one. Da-da-da-da.
It's time for my favorite segment of the show. Yeah, oh, give me an oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's
Coming
got
in
brand
with
new
the Joe
headphones. Got to
Murray
make sure they
style.
don't
Oh yeah.
I
We were
know.
talking
below
some
my.
food before we recorded, and Biggie one day could do a Joe Murray impersonation. All right, Kraz, you were lamenting about oh yes and yeah ohs that
Yeah.
entire
So
World
let's
Series.
just. I
So
just want to.
let it
I just
rip.
want to jump on because we were just talking about the Yankees. Let's just kind of switch over to. I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know if it was on. I saw it on Instagram. There was a bunch of like. I think there was like literally like close to 1,000 Yankee fans at this viewing party, and it was when Shohei dove in and he like dislocated his shoulder. Like
Saw that.
everybody at the bar, all in pinstripes, were just like laughing and cheering and like giving him the finger. And it's like they are such low life scumbag fans. Oh, it just fucking kills me. They can choose whatever team they want. Oh, I that it really honestly just, I mean, and I know Max isn't like that, but like a lot of the fans are like that. And it's just, that's really like classless to see that you're going to fucking cheer for someone that's getting injured. Like, guys are
Wait.
scumbags. You don't deserve it.
So you're saying Yankees fans who are probably also Dallas Cowboys fans and Los Angeles Lakers fans are scumbags? Oh, crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
par for the
Well,
course
the
for
real
those
life
fucking
Yankees fans
people.
that are like, oh yeah, I like the Knicks. Well, yeah, you like the Knicks now because they're fucking hot.
I'm not saying that all fans are like that, but I'm talking about that trifecta of fan. That is the worst fan of all time.
That's what's his fucking face? Tommy Smokes from Barstool is like the leader of
Ugh.
the pack for those people. And I like Tommy outside of him being a Yankee fan, but that fucking asshole and what he was tweeting, plus all the stuff that Sam just talked about, it's like you guys are like, oh, don't come at us when you get the shit. It's like they're the biggest givers, but when it comes to taking shit, they can't take it. And there's nothing more entertaining than watching the sadness on all their fucking faces at the end of these games. So let's hope for that sake, let's hope it's a sweep and they can all be fucking miserable. And Aaron
Dust
Boone
off the brooms,
be a
ladies and gentlemen.
fucking
Dust off your brooms.
dumbass.
Knock on some wood, ladies and gentlemen. Knock on some wood. We got
Back to the Celtics and oh yeah that we all agreed on was Missoula being fucking crazy, licking licking the floor.
Sam, you want to take this one?
snake bad. Yeah. So like I said, I kind of ran in like certain circles with him. My best friend Chris played at the same high school he did. They were kind of like in this. They were in different years, but he played on JV and Joe played on varsity. They both played point guard, so they would scrimmage daily against one another. And my buddy's not surprised in the least bit that Joe's coaching at this level. He always said that his basketball IQ was like off the charts, and Joe's dad is actually a really well known. Well, I mean he passed away, but he was a really well known coach in Johnston, Rhode Island, and his basketball IQ was really off the charts too. So they're really not in the least bit surprised that he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, Missoula's great. He's brought so much. We talked about what he's brought to the team
Yeah.
in his couple of years as head coach. Back to football, and from
Yeah.
this weekend. Gabe,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, if you're thinking of the one I'm thinking of, it was during the Washington Commanders versus Chicago Bears, whatever fucking animal they want to be. Jaden Daniels Hail Mary
Whew.
attempt at the very end gets tipped,
Wild.
He's
catch it
that
in the end
dude.
zone. That
That
was
dude.
that
There's a
was
yeah,
pretty
oh, and an oh
impressive.
yeah in that.
Yeah,
Sure.
there
Oh yeah,
are,
did you
there
see
are.
the safety
Double-sided.
The
just
safety on the
taunting the
Bears,
fans,
taunting.
getting in the play late? Oh man,
Yeah,
he's gonna get it
yeah.
today from
He'll
the
be
coaches,
benched.
that's for sure. Oh yeah. Oof.
He was
He
on the
So
Patriots
it's
and he
it,
cut.
another oh yeah,
Brutal.
just stemming off that is Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May looking like a
Bo
pretty
Nix.
good top
Don't
to
forget
Bo
about Bo
Nix too.
Nix.
Yeah, he
Bo
had a
And
three
Nix.
Michael
Bo
touchdown game
Penix.
Nix.
yesterday.
I mean, these guys look legit, so that doesn't always happen in these drafts. So
So,
we could be witnessing something good here.
Yep.
sorry, Michael Penix. Maybe you'll get your shot eventually.
I think he will, and McCarthy as well, who obviously had the injury preseason. So no, it's great. It's great
Sure.
for the league to have young rookie quarterbacks, or even young quarterbacks for that matter. These big names have sort of trailed off. It's like you had Brady, but then you had Manning and Roethlisberger and Rivers and Rodgers, and now it's just like it's Mahomes, and then the cut after Mahomes is so drastic, and so the gap. I don't even know who you could say the second best
Allen,
Josh
quarterback.
Allen,
Uh,
Lamar
yeah,
Jackson.
Lamar
Allen,
Jackson. I put
Jackson.
Lamar Jackson right there. He's just
But
had real
there
shit
aren't a ton
luck.
of guys. I
No,
mean,
Uh,
Jalen Hurts has looked,
yeah.
beatable at certain times. He's pretty good, but he doesn't look as great as he used to.
No.
One guy who I'm going to give an oh yeah to, and I think this guy is a guy that I'm glad he's getting another chance, is one Mr. Jameis Winston.
Oh
He
yeah.
showed you what an actual quarterback on the Cleveland Browns
Jameis, baby.
can do. And I don't know if any of you guys saw
He
his
loves
post
his
game interview.
lobster claws or whatever.
His post game.
King
Did
Crabs.
it? Did any of you guys see his post game interview? His post game
Yeah,
interview
Mom
was
Spaghetti.
unbelievable.
I love Jameis. He's the man.
Me too. Hell yeah.
Jameis is the man. I'm glad he finally got an opportunity to
Jameis.
start again. With the current climate of how shitty the NFL quarterbacks are right now, this dude is better than a decent amount of them who are playing. So glad he's got a shot. Just like how everyone was very happy about Geno Smith getting a shot a couple years ago. I'm happy that Jameis is getting another
I
opportunity to show
think
what he
that
can
team
do.
that team played for him yesterday. They beat the Ravens,
Yeah.
and the Ravens are a Super Bowl contending team. So that goes to show if you have a quarterback that everyone can rally around, it can really change a team and what they're thinking and the outcome.
I just want to say I would have preferred Jameis Winston being the quarterback that was here with Drake May
Agreed.
over Brissett, and it's not a
Dog.
knock on Brissett. It just means Winston is good.
Brissett is like a poor man's Winston. He really is. He's like a
Yeah.
poor man's Jameis.
But he doesn't throw the ball away.
Well,
Jameis will also get
Complete
you.
polar opposites in that.
Jameis is also one of the only guys who's in the 30-30 club. 30 TDs, 30 interceptions.
he's a true
Yeah,
1-to-1 ratio. So
one of one there.
He's entertaining. You got to give him credit.
In many different ways. Well, that as shout out Jason Tatum winning Eastern Conference Player of the Month doesn't really, or week, whatever. who knows? Good for you.
Eastern Conference Player of the Month, which happened over a week span.
Week.
So whatever works there. Good for him. That does it for there's a lot more on the table each week with all the sports being in season now, and sports equinox today, Monday, with all 4 sports in action, which is always a beautiful sight to see. And the Pike is a beautiful sight to see, except for Big E, who had a miserable experience coming back from the Mid-Atlantic this weekend.
The great state of Jersey.
The great state of Jersey. Wow.
What's that smell?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Hey,
yeah.
let's be nice to the state of New Jersey. I have grown to enjoy the state. Their bagels are delicious.
Hey, there's
Not talking-
great parts of New Jersey, but we can all agree on one thing. When you drive through the Meadowlands, it smells like absolute
Where did you go?
Oh, I avoid the Meadowlands. That's another part of the state
You're
that
too
I go.
good
I
for
go.
the Meadowlands.
Yeah,
I
he
go-
goes
I
to
go
the
to-
bougie. He goes to the
I
bougie
go.
areas.
I go to Morris
He just
County,
accepts
okay?
New Jersey.
Oh, he takes
He
the
just-
Long Island Expressway. To fucking...
Oh, I go through the tap. I go through the Tappan Zee.
Oh,
you can
or
tap
actually,
this.
it's the Mario Cuomo Bridge now.
Oh,
Oh,
they
yeah.
all suck. It
All
just
the bridges
sucks.
suck.
Except for the
area just sucks.
I almost
You know who doesn't suck? The Celtics, and they play tonight against the Bucks. They play again on
They're
Wednesday
playing right
night,
now.
7
Do the
p.m.
Bucks
against
suck?
the Pacers, who actually that's a matchup of the Eastern Conference Championship last year, so that'll be interesting to see. And then they're back against the Hornets. Gabe Plotkin's Hornets at 7 p.m. on
Cousin
Saturday
Gabe.
night,
Cousin
and
Gabe,
then
not
Gabe.
Gabe
rounding it
Machette.
out next Monday against the Hawks. So wow, is that 4 games in 7 nights? Wow, it's a lot.
Yeah, they
Whoa.
got back-to-backs
Big
against the
stretch.
Hornets
Big
at
So
stretch.
Charlotte, which is kind of odd.
Gabe, you
But I
want to
think
take the
they're doing
bees?
that now. I
Yeah,
think
What
they're
are the
doing
bees
that.
looking like this week?
They've got some winnable games coming up. Playing tomorrow night against the Flyers. Believe it's at home. Then they've got the Hurricanes on Thursday, and then another game against Philadelphia. And Philadelphia is, definitely a beatable team right now. So that should be 2 wins right there. And then play the Seattle Kraken to end our weekend this coming weekend on
How's it going
Sunday.
watching those games with your Fire Stick?
You know,
Is it getting
yeah.
better?
When the Celtics are on, I flip it on like to the iPad or something. I don't even really I haven't used the Fire Stick that much, which is crazy. It's like $60 down the drain.
Just for nothing,
Fuck
just for the
you,
Bruins.
Bezos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
great. He's
it's
paying
worth it though.
It's a premium. It's a premium. It's like buying a
Yeah.
fucking season pass for your house
It's
to
there
watch
if I
these
need it.
goddamn games. World Series, Kraz, 3 games back to back to back this week, tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So this episode will be out Wednesday. So we'll have results for a few of the games by then. So pardon
Well,
our
I think it should
inability
be
to
all
time
done. Hopefully, it
travel.
should be all done. I believe.
Hopefully,
Dust
hopefully,
off the
hopefully it's a
brooms,
4-0
ladies
sweep.
and
There's no
gentlemen.
games to
Dust
talk
off
about.
the brooms.
Hopefully.
Knock
So
on wood.
And then
Knock
next
on
week-
wood.
Patriots
Next Sunday.
head on down to Nashville to take on the Tennessee Titans, a winnable game. No players to be out late on Broadway in Nashville. Get your
Nope.
drinking done
Curfew.
during the day and get your ass back to the hotel. Do
Take a
not
Stick
nap.
with cannabis.
And earn yourself a win.
Yes.
earn a dub. Earn a dub.
You have a chance to put a winning streak together. Let's go.
to
That'd
all
be
That would be
crazy.
incredible.
to all the Patriots fans that are going to Nashville potentially for this game, it is one of the best places that you can go to have a weekend of live music, country everywhere, and the downtown pregame scene and walking over the river, over the bridge to go to a game there is second to none. So everybody enjoy it. If there's one tip that I have for Nashville, it is bring liquid IV with you so you survive the entire weekend and rehydrate. Hydration is key.
And with that being said, we will see you all next week. We'll do this all again. Thank you all for your time. And
We're not
Good night.
ending a fucking meeting, Eric.
High quality H2O.
Everybody, let's go Boston sports. Let's have a great week. There's a lot of games for some
Let's-
dubs. And
let's go, Boston!
let's hope the World Series is over by the next time we speak. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
Dodgers
I
win.
bid you adieu.
I bid you
Good
adieu.
night.
Good night,
evening.
everybody.
Good evening.
Far,
Good
wherever
morning.
you are.
Good
Peace.
morning.
Good evening.
Good night.
Good night.